If you're wondering what life is like living, eating, dining, and playing in Pleasanton, this is the video for you. So how did Pleasanton go from being known as the most desperate town in the West to being ranked one of the wealthiest mid-sized cities in America by the Census Bureau? Walking down the streets and taking in the surroundings, it's not hard to see how this town has become so popular over time. Welcome to Pleasanton, California. Pleasanton is the perfect place to be if you enjoy the community feel that comes along with living in a smaller town, but like having access to many of the conveniences that come along with being in a well-connected city within the Bay Area. Whether you're just taking a day trip to enjoy the many boutiques here, or you're considering calling this your home, I highly doubt Pleasanton will leave you feeling disappointed. Hey everyone, Spencer Su here, your tech realtor of the Bay Area. I'm very excited to tour you around the quaint and very tranquil town of Pleasanton. Let's get started. Pleasanton is nestled in the Amador Valley in San Francisco's East Bay and is part of Alameda County. With a population of just under 82,000 people, there is a true sense of community you feel here. Before we get into some of the ins and outs of Pleasanton, let's first touch on some brief history of how it came to be. Before the establishment of Pleasanton in the 1850s, an earlier settlement here was called La Salle. One of the earliest homes was built in 1884 and is still standing today and serves as a centerpiece of the Alviso Adobe Community Park. Original nicknamed the most desperate town in the West, Pleasanton was one of the settlements located along La Vereda del Monte, a backcountry trail through the Diablo Range that was a refuge for bandits and desperados in the area following the beginning of the California Gold Rush. Pleasanton was eventually incorporated in 1894 and by 1900 was a thriving community complete with the Bank of Pleasanton, the Pleasanton Hop Company, and the Ruby Hill Vineyard. It's wild to think that Pleasanton went from a town with such a bleak beginning to one of the most coveted suburbs to call home in the Bay Area. But what exactly is it like to call Pleasanton home? What kind of homes can you expect to find throughout this city? Most homes here were built from the 1960s through to the early 2000s and are mainly single family. The home styles are predominantly ranch, Mediterranean, and colonial-inspired homes with a good mix of single-level and two-story homes. But to me, this city can really be broken down into two separate parts. The first is the areas tucked into the hills in the southeastern parts of the city away from the highway, and the second is in the areas around the highway in the northern parts of town. Let's first go take a look at one of my favorite neighborhoods in the southeastern part of the city, Vineyard Estates. In this neighborhood and in most of the neighborhoods further removed from the highway, there's a wide variety of homes built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, with some newer construction homes built in the 90s and early 2000s, like you'll see here in Vineyard Estates. Many of the homes out this way are on much larger lots, and the area feels a lot more quiet and tucked away from any of the busyness around the highway. It's in these neighborhoods that you can feel the character that exists because of the city's rich history, as there is a sense of community you can feel in these well-established neighborhoods. On the other end of the spectrum, in the northern parts of Pleasanton, near the highway, you'll find Country Fair, another great neighborhood in an area that feels much newer and more connected to many of the great shopping plazas in Pleasanton and the rest of the Bay Area. Let's go take a look next. Here in Country Fair and many of the other neighborhoods around Highway 580, you'll find a larger concentration of newer built homes and a lot more townhomes. Many of these homes were built in the 80s and 90s. These homes are on much smaller lots than what we saw previously in the Vineyard Estate, but the area feels a lot more lively and connected due to being close proximity to shopping, dining, and entertainment. In general, the further southeast you go, you'll find more established neighborhoods with larger properties in both home size and lot square footage. These neighborhoods will also feel much quieter. The more north you go, the neighborhoods begin to feel much newer, with an abundance of newer built single-family homes and townhomes on smaller lots with a lot more access to shopping and dining. Living here, you'll also have very easy access to a number of grocery stores like Safeway, Raley's, Trader Joe's, and Whole Foods markets, no matter where you find yourself throughout any of these neighborhoods. So what type of architecture and design do you like? Leave in the comments below for the algorithm, and be sure to smack that like button to support this video. Another really fantastic thing about Pleasanton is the job market here. Many large companies like Workday, Safeway, 10X Genomics, Cooper Companies, Viva, and Blackhawk Network have placed their headquarters right here in Pleasanton. Along with there being many job opportunities here, Pleasanton is also incredibly attractive to families because of its highly rated school district and fantastic selection of schools. There are a couple of really good elementary schools here in Henry P. Moore and Vintage Hills Elementary, which both have a 9 out of 10 ratings on great schools. As the kids get older and enter into middle school and high school, you find equally highly rated options with Thomas Hart Middle School and Amador Valley and Foothill High Schools, which are also seeing a nearly perfect rating of 9 out of 10. With a great location, booming job market, and a selection of some very highly rated schools, it's easy to see why families love living here. But what is there to do outside of the home? To answer that question, you won't have to travel far, since the outskirts of Pleasanton are surrounded by spacious foothills that are filled with endless opportunities for all types of outdoor recreation. The Pleasanton Ridge Regional Park is a 9,000-acre playground of preserved natural land made available for hikers, bikers, and equestrians, with breathtaking view of Pleasanton and the entire Livermore Valley, which is quickly becoming a bustling wine region. There is also the Shadow Cliffs Regional Recreation Area, which is a public park on the border of Pleasanton and Livermore that forms part of the East Bay Regional Park system. Beyond the hills and the parks and everything they offer, if you enjoy playing golf, Pleasanton has a couple of fantastic options. The Pleasanton Golf Center is a great 9-hole course and practice facility where you can fine-tune your game. For something a little bit more challenging, where you can put your practice to the test, you can head over to Callippe Preserve Golf Course. I'm telling you, it's a pretty sweet suburb tucked into this gorgeous East Bay Valley. But we're not finished yet. As you head back towards downtown Pleasanton, you'll find plenty of lovely places to dine, shop, and hang out with friends and family. This downtown is so nice, in fact, that it's officially become part of the California Main Street Communities, which is a designation awarded by the state's Trade and Commerce Agency that recognizes the community's history and unity. One of the many nice things about this downtown is the pedestrian-friendly, tree-lined streets that offer a vibrant blend of parks and historic buildings, eye-catching boutiques, fine dining, and delicious smelling cafes and coffee shops. One of many locals' favorite places to eat here is Hap's Original Steak and Seafood. Hap's is a classic New York-style steak and seafood house that specializes in the finest dry-aged cuts. The cuisine is accompanied by an award-winning wine list with more than 300 wines from around the world. It's a must-try during one of your evenings out down here. As I've said, the history is rich, and the blend of old and new can easily leave you exploring, shopping, and dining for hours. Now, Pleasanton isn't really the best place to be if you crave a booming nightlife scene. It is lower key as you suspect from any suburb, but some of the bar options here downtown are a lot of fun. The Main Street Brewery is a fantastic place to grab a beer. If you're more in the mood for wine, you can check out Oasis Restaurant and Wine Lounge, which stays open after many of the local wineries have closed for the day. And speaking of wine, Pleasanton has become part of a rapidly growing wine region here in the valley, and there are a lot of great wineries to check out. Ruby Hill Winery is a family-owned and operated winery that produces a range of handcrafted, balanced, and approachable wines. Another great winery here is Rubino Estates Winery, a Californian-Italian winery that produces award-winning wines against a backdrop of picturesque views of the Livermore Valley. It's a beautiful place to enjoy an afternoon and early evening. Beautiful, right? Pleasanton truly does offer a lot to its residents, and the city is only getting better with time, just like the wines it produces. If you're looking for all the positive aspects of having easy access to the amenities and conveniences that come along with being in a major metro area, but want the space and feeling of a small town, Pleasanton might just be the place for you. I absolutely love how you can find cities like this in the Bay Area. It's part of what makes the Bay Area such a special place to live. I hope this video gave you a little bit of a sense of what Pleasanton has to offer its residents. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in Pleasanton or anywhere in the Bay Area, my team would love to be your trusted real estate resource. So be sure to call or text us at 408-547-4590. And before you leave, hit the subscribe button, as I'm putting out new videos multiple times a week about life in the Bay Area. See you in the next video.